We are all addicted to something. Some to fear, others to doubt, and many to control. We cling to these emotions as if they provided security, when in reality they only chain us. It's a silent dependency that robs us of calm, wears us down, and makes us believe that we will only be okay when everything is under control. But the truth is harsh. Control is an illusion. And as long as you keep trying to dominate everything, you will continue to be a slave to what you cannot change. Transformation begins the day you replace those old addictions with a new one, a more powerful and conscious one. Faith, not a naive or blind faith, but one that is born from discipline and the courage to trust, even when you cannot see the full path. That is the faith of those who choose to stand firm while others crumble, of those who choose calm while the world reacts with fear. Stoicism understood this perfectly. The mind is the true temple, and thoughts are the seeds that determine the life you reap. If you sow fear, you will reap doubt. If you sow consistency and serenity, peace will bloom. Stoic faith is not praying for miracles. It is acting with conviction, even in the midst of chaos. It is believing in the natural order of things, even when reality seems to contradict it. This video is not a simple reflection. It is a declaration of war against the emotions that have dominated you. A guide to replace anxiety with serenity, doubt with discipline, and control with trust. Stay until the end, because this is not about pretty words, but about real transformation. You will understand why faith is the only addiction that liberates, consistency the only routine that strengthens, and serenity the only response that demonstrates true power. When reprogram your thoughts, your mind is like a fertile field. Plant fear and thorns will grow. Plant perseverance and serenity will bloom. Each thought you repeat is a seed, and over time, these seeds become your reality. That's why you can't keep feeding the same mental patterns that keep you stuck. You can't expect peace if every day you repeat stories of doubt, guilt, or defeat. Mental reprogramming is not a mystical act. It's a conscious decision to clear the ground and plant only what you want to see grow. The problem is that many people are addicted to their negative emotions. They find it hard to let go of fear because they have gotten used to living from it. They find it hard to let go of doubt because it has become part of their identity. The brain, when an emotion is repeated many times, turns it into a habit. That's why it's so hard for you to change, not because you can't, but because you've trained your mind to survive in chaos. But Stoicism teaches something different. The mind can be re-educated, and it all starts with monitoring what you think. Every time you feel anxiety, doubt, or frustration, observe your thought without identifying with it. Ask yourself, does this thought strengthen me or weaken me? That simple question can stop years of emotional self-destruction. Most people don't realize that their thoughts are not truths, they are repeated choices. And you can choose again. You can decide to replace fear with faith, complaint with action, and doubt with perseverance. That is true reprogramming, replacing the automatic with the conscious. A disciplined mind is not built in a day. It requires repetition, patience, and courage. It requires noticing each negative thought and responding with another stronger, more rational, more serene one. When you train your mind in this way, there comes a point where old emotions lose power. You no longer react the same way. You no longer drag yourself through worry or sink into guilt. You learn to observe clearly, to decide calmly, and to stand firm amidst the noise. Every thought counts. Every sentence you repeat shapes the way you face life. So stop repeating that you can't. Stop thinking that you need to have everything under control. Stop reliving past mistakes. Start telling yourself that you can, that you are learning, that you are transforming. The language you use with yourself determines the limit of your growth. Reprogramming your mind is to stop being a slave to your thoughts and become their architect. It's not about thinking positive, it's about thinking with power. Because a trained mind does not surrender to fear, does not doubt in the face of adversity, and does not seek to control what does not belong to it. A trained mind trusts, acts, and moves on. That is true inner strength, mastering the direction of your thoughts so that chaos stops ruling you and you become the ruler of your destiny. 2. Practice daily consistency. Most people want immediate results, but nobody wants to walk the path. Everyone admires the summit, few endure the climb. Consistency has no glamour, it doesn't shine, it doesn't give quick rewards. It's silent, uncomfortable, and often lonely. But it's also the most powerful tool there is to transform the mind and life. Because while others wait for motivation, the consistent one moves, even when they don't feel like it. Think about fire. It doesn't ignite with an isolated spark, but with daily fuel. That's how consistency works. It doesn't matter if the step is small. What matters is that it's repeated. The Stoics knew this well. Character is formed in repetition, not in the emotion of a moment, but in the discipline of each day. Practicing consistency is deciding to act even when the mind screams for you to stop. It's choosing to continue when progress is not noticeable, because you understand that true transformation is not measured in speed, but in direction. The problem is that many wait to feel ready to start. But consistency is not born from feeling, it's born from deciding. Every morning, you have the opportunity to reinforce your will or surrender to laziness. And each choice, no matter how small it seems, shapes you. The strongest people are not those who never fail. They are those who, despite failing, return to the path without drama. They fall, they get up, and they continue. That is the essence of consistency, silent resistance. The body is trained with repetitions, and so is the mind. If every day you choose discipline over excuse, faith over doubt, action over fear, inevitably your life changes. Not because something magical happens, but because you become someone capable of sustaining what they desire. Most people give up just before seeing results because they confuse discomfort with failure. But growth hurts, evolution tires, and only those who accept that pain advance. Consistency also teaches humility. It reminds you that nothing great is built without patience, that even gray days count, that results are not forced, they are earned. And when you understand that, you stop running and start persevering. You stop seeking external motivation and start creating internal momentum. Because the power of consistency is that it doesn't depend on the environment, it depends on you. You don't need to have everything clear to be consistent. You just need the commitment not to stop. Every day that you fulfill what you said you would do, you strengthen your mind and reprogram your identity. You prove to yourself that you are someone reliable, and that inner confidence becomes faith. Faith is not preached, it's practiced through consistency. When you are able to stand firm in your habits, even when no one sees you, when you act with discipline even in silence, when you advance without needing approval, you will have understood the true meaning of personal power. Consistency is not just a routine, it's a form of respect for yourself. And whoever respects themselves doesn't stop, because they know that everything worth having requires time, effort, and character. And even though the world moves in a hurry, you will continue to move forward with purpose, knowing that the most important victory is not to arrive first, but to never give up. 3. Choose calm over reaction. Chaos doesn't always come from the outside. Often it starts within. It's that internal spark that ignites when something doesn't go as you expected, when someone contradicts you, or when fear whispers that you're losing control. That spark, if you don't master it, turns into a fire. And most people live putting out fires they themselves caused by not choosing calm over reaction. The mind reacts impulsively, but the soul responds with awareness. The difference between the two is the time you take to breathe before acting. The Stoics knew this well. Whoever masters their reaction masters their destiny. Reacting is surrendering control. Responding is regaining it. Every time you choose calm, you are deciding not to be a slave to your emotions. You are deciding to stay centered when everything around you seeks to pull you out of it. The modern world rewards speed, immediate response, automatic defense. But wisdom lies in pausing a second before speaking, before judging, before making impulsive decisions. That second is power. That second separates the one who destroys what they love from the one who builds what they long for. When you choose calm, you are not being weak, you are being strategic. Calm is not passivity, it is control. You can't control what others do, but you can control how you respond to it. Every provocation, every obstacle, and every injustice is a test that measures your inner strength. The person who yells shows their fragility. The one who keeps their voice steady shows their power. You don't need to win arguments, you need to maintain your energy. It's not about running from conflict, but not letting the conflict consume you. Choosing calm doesn't mean not feeling, it means not letting what you feel govern you. It means observing the emotion and deciding what to do with it. Anger can serve to act with determination. Fear can serve to prepare you better. Sadness can help you understand. But if you react from pure emotion, you end up being swept away by it. Calm allows you to transform impulse into intention. The next time something upsets you, do the experiment. Don't respond right away. Breathe, observe, understand. Reaction comes from the ego, calm from character. The trained mind doesn't need to defend itself because it understands that nothing external can harm it without its consent. That's what the Stoics taught. No one hurts you without your permission. No one steals your peace if you don't give it to them. Mastering calm is an art that is practiced daily. In traffic, in an argument, at work, in life. And every time you manage to stay silent when you would have exploded before, you are gaining ground on yourself. That is the real victory, not the external one, but the internal one. Because whoever can maintain calm in the midst of chaos has already won. Reaction destroys, calm transforms. And real transformation always begins when you learn not to respond from the wound, but from awareness. 4. Find power in silence. Silence is not always the absence of sound. Sometimes it is the strongest presence there is. In a world that screams, the one who learns to be silent becomes a threat. Because silence is uncomfortable, disarming, and revealing. You don't need to respond to every word, justify every action, or constantly prove you're right. True power is not in speaking more, it's in knowing when not to. External noise tries to control you. News, opinions, criticisms all seek an immediate reaction. But when you remain silent, you take control of the pace. Silence is not surrender, it's dominion. It's the space where emotions calm and ideas mature. That's where you hear what really matters, where you can hear the voice that the world's noise tries to drown out. Yours. The Stoics understood the value of silence as a discipline. Marcus Aurelius wrote for himself not to be read. He didn't need anyone's approval, he needed clarity, and that can only be obtained in stillness. In silence, you learn to observe your thoughts, to distinguish between what you feel and what you are. You discover that not everything you think deserves your energy, nor does every emotion need an immediate response. Those who cannot tolerate silence cannot tolerate their own mind. That's why many live surrounded by distractions, because they fear facing what silence reveals. But only there can you see your patterns, your fears, your true intentions. Silence doesn't lie to you. If you resist it, it torments you. If you embrace it, it frees you. Learning to remain calm, even when the mind demands movement, is a form of inner mastery. Every time you choose silence over reaction, you're reclaiming power. You're demonstrating that your emotions no longer rule you. It's not about being silent out of fear, but out of wisdom. To speak only when your words can contribute something more than noise. Most react, you choose to observe. And that small act changes everything, because while others waste their energy trying to impose themselves, you conserve it to build. Silence also teaches presence. It forces you to be here, to notice the details, to breathe attentively. It's a form of moving meditation, a reminder that not everything needs explanation. There are times when the best response is serenity, because it demonstrates more strength than any argument. Practicing silence doesn't mean isolating yourself from the world, but listening better to what's happening within you. It's in that quietness where wise decisions, conscious acts, and true mental peace are born. The mind organizes itself when you stop forcing it to think. And when the mind is organized, life also does. Don't seek to fill every void with words. Fill your silence with purpose. Use calm as your shield, observation as your strategy, and serenity as your strength. Whoever masters silence masters their destiny, because they have learned not to be a slave to the world's noise. And when you reach that point, when your calm speaks louder than your words, you no longer need to demonstrate power. You become it. 5. Be grateful even for uncertainty. The ground that shakes beneath your feet is not always a signal of danger. Sometimes it's life moving you towards where you should be. Uncertainty is not an enemy, it's a teacher. It teaches what stability never could. When everything is predictable, the mind becomes numb, the soul settles and growth stops. But when the unknown appears, consciousness awakens, faith is activated, and it reveals who truly trusts in the process. Being grateful for uncertainty is one of the hardest lessons, because it goes against the instinct of control. We have been taught to plan, to anticipate, to have answers for everything. And when life changes without notice, we feel we lose balance. However, the truth is that we never had it. Control is a fragile illusion. What truly holds your life is not certainty. It's your ability to remain calm amidst change. Faith is not measured when everything goes well, but when nothing seems to make sense. Stoicism teaches that the universe does not act against you, it acts through you. Every event, even the most uncertain, is an opportunity to train your mind and strengthen your character. There is no chaos without purpose, only perception without understanding. When you are grateful for the uncertain, you change the energy with which you face life. You stop asking why and start asking what for. Every doubt you face is a mirror. It reflects your level of trust and your relationship with the unknown. If you react with fear, you retreat. If you respond with gratitude, you evolve. Being grateful for the uncertain does not mean that everything is easy. It means that you choose to find meaning even in what you do not yet understand. It's accepting that the path does not need to be clear to be right. People who live being grateful, even for uncertain days, possess a silent strength that distinguishes them. They do not depend on circumstances to feel at peace. They trust in the process, because they know that everything serves a purpose, even the mistake, even the loss, even the silence. Gratitude transforms uncertainty into teaching, turns confusion into clarity, and waiting into growth. Every morning, you have two options: resist what you cannot control or be grateful for it. Resistance tires, gratitude liberates. When you are grateful for what you do not understand, your mind stops fighting and your soul begins to observe. And in that observation, you discover signs, learnings, and opportunities that you did not see before. Gratitude opens the eyes of the soul. Being grateful for uncertainty also means having the courage to trust in yourself, even when the path darkens. It means walking without seeing the destination, but with the certainty that every step makes sense. It's not about naive optimism, but about spiritual strength. Whoever is grateful for the uncertain becomes unstoppable, because they no longer need guarantees to keep moving forward. The power of gratitude is that it transforms any scenario into fertile ground. It doesn't matter if the future is uncertain or if things don't go as planned. What's important is how you choose to interpret it. Each experience is a disguised message, and gratitude is the language that allows you to understand it. When you learn to say thank you, even in the midst of chaos, you become someone who does not break, but refines. And that is true faith, the one that holds when there is no certainty but purpose. 6. Let go of control and trust. Life does not stop because you want to understand it, nor does it speed up because you are in a hurry. Trying to control everything is like squeezing sand between your fingers. The harder you squeeze, the more it slips away. Control is an act of fear disguised as responsibility, a way of believing that you can dominate what never belonged to you. But when you decide to let go, when you choose to trust, something changes within you. What was once anxiety becomes calm, and what was once struggle transforms into acceptance. The human mind seeks security because it fears emptiness. It wants certainties, it wants to know what will happen, it wants to be right. However, existence does not operate under these rules. The order of the universe is wiser than your plans. The Stoics understood this. You can only control your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. Everything else is out of your reach. Insisting on mastering the external is a lost battle, but mastering your response is an act of power. Trust does not mean surrender, it means aligning with reality. It means accepting that things happen as they should, and that even what seems like chaos can have a hidden purpose. The one who trusts is not passive, he is aware. He acts, but without anxiety. He moves forward, but without attachment to the outcome. That is the difference between control and mastery. The controller lives exhausted, the one who trusts lives in peace. Let go of the need to have all the answers. You don't need them to move, you just need faith. Not the blind faith that waits, but the conscious faith that acts with serenity. Every time you choose to trust instead of control, you demonstrate maturity. You show that you no longer seek to impose a rhythm on life, but to learn to dance with it. The fear of letting go is born from the ego. It wants to be the author of everything, when in reality it is just a passenger. When you let go of control, you don't lose power, you regain it. Because for the first time, you stop fighting against the inevitable and start flowing with what is. That doesn't make you weak, it makes you wise. Letting go does not mean disinterest. It means releasing obsession. It means allowing life to fulfill its course without the constant interference of your anxiety. When you trust, the present ceases to be a threat and becomes a guide. You learn to see the signs, to listen to your intuition, and to move with clarity. The true strength is not in having control, but in having faith when you don't. When you let go, life shows you what really matters. What is yours remains, what is not goes away. And in that process, you discover the essence of balance, trusting in the natural order of things without needing to understand it all. Because sometimes losing control is the only way to find yourself. 7. Turn difficulty into strength. The strongest steel is born from the most intense fire. Without heat, there is no shape. Without pressure, there is no character. Life works the same way. What now weighs you down, what hurts and exhausts you, can become the material with which you forge your inner strength. The difference lies in how you choose to look at the challenge, as a punishment or as an opportunity for transformation. Suffering is not what destroys, it is the resistance to accept it. Most want to grow without discomfort, but that is impossible. Growth hurts because it forces you to let go of versions of yourself that no longer fit. Each difficulty is an invisible training that prepares you for the next stage. When you learn to see adversity as a teacher, you stop fearing it. You begin to observe it with respect, because you know that behind the pain, there is always a lesson that could not come in any other way. The Stoics repeated it clearly. You cannot control what happens, but you can decide what meaning you give it. The same event can break or strengthen, depending on the interpretation you choose. Whoever victimizes themselves in the face of difficulty gets trapped in pain. Whoever uses it as a tool becomes wiser, stronger, and more serene. The power is not in avoiding the blows, but in learning to receive them with dignity and keep walking. Difficulty reveals your mettle. It shows whether your convictions are true or if they were only comfortable while everything was going well. It's easy to have faith when life smiles, but true faith is measured when everything falls apart. In those moments, it is seen who really trust themselves and who only believed while there was no risk. Each challenge strips you before yourself, forces you to confront your limits and to discover that you are more resilient than you thought. Transforming pain into strength is not denying what you feel, it is using it as fuel. Pain teaches you what comfort cannot. It teaches you patience, focus, humility. It reminds you that absolute control does not exist, but resilience does. And resilience is built every time you choose to continue, even when you don't see immediate results. It is that silent decision to get up once more that defines your character. Don't complain about the weight you carry. Strengthen your shoulders. Don't curse the obstacle, learn from it. Everything that today seems a difficulty can become your greatest advantage if you face it with awareness. The strongest people are not so because they do not suffer, but because they learned to transform suffering into momentum. Each challenge contains a lesson, and that lesson is the key to your next version. If you let difficulty break you, it stagnates you. If you use it, it elevates you. That's why it's not about running from pain, but learning to hold it without losing yourself. That balance is what creates true inner strength. When you understand that difficulty is not an enemy, but a guide, you will stop fearing gray days. You will learn to use them to grow, because every test, every loss, and every fall are part of the same purpose, to become someone capable of holding their own peace, even in the midst of chaos. That is real strength, the one that does not need to demonstrate, because it has already been forged in silence, in darkness, and in perseverance. 8. Declare your faith every day. Each dawn is a silent oath, a pact between you and life, not with words, but with actions. It is the moment when you decide whether you will fall into doubt again, or if you will hold on to faith, even though everything seems uncertain. It is no coincidence that the mind fills with noise upon waking. Fear always tries to be the first to speak. But whoever starts the day with faith starts with direction. Declaring your faith does not mean repeating empty phrases or hoping that everything will resolve itself. It means getting up with the firm decision to believe in your ability, in your purpose, and in the invisible order that sustains the universe. It is looking at yourself in the mirror and remembering that, although you failed yesterday, today you can choose differently. Faith is not a thought, it is a muscle that is strengthened with daily practice. Every day you face two voices, the voice of fear that tells you that you can't, and the voice of faith that whispers for you to continue. Most people listen to fear because it screams louder. But the power is in training yourself to listen to the serene voice, the one that does not promise ease but purpose. Declaring your faith is consciously deciding which of these two voices you will obey. Stoicism did not speak of religious faith, but of rational trust in the natural order of things. Knowing that what happens makes sense, even if you can't see it yet. When you practice this trust, you stop forcing life. You stop resisting what happens and start collaborating with it. This attitude changes everything because true faith does not seek to control, it seeks to understand. Every action, every thought, every word is a declaration of faith or fear. If you complain, you declare a lack of faith. If you give thanks, you declare trust. If you act with discipline, you declare that you believe in the process. It's not about saying, "I have faith." It's about living as someone who truly trusts themselves. Faith is renewed with habits. When you get up early, even though you don't feel like it. When you keep your word, even when no one is watching. When you keep moving forward without seeing results, you are declaring your faith with actions. This silent consistency is the most powerful prayer there is. You don't need to ask. Just stay aligned with the certainty that each step brings you closer to what you seek. There will be days when faith wobbles, when doubt seems more real than hope. But right there is where your character is tested. Faith is not the absence of doubt. It is moving forward despite it. It is maintaining your gaze in the midst of chaos and telling yourself, "This too shall pass, and I will come out stronger." Declaring your faith every day is not a religious act. It is an act of mental discipline. It is reminding yourself that what you sow in your mind determines what you reap in your life. If you sow trust, you will reap calm. If you sow calm, you will reap clarity. And with clarity, everything else comes. Because faith, when it becomes a habit, transforms your energy, your mind, and your destiny. 9. Embrace the process, not just the outcome. The fruit does not appear overnight. It must first sink its roots into the darkness. That's the part nobody wants to see. The silent stage, where there are no applause or visible results, only constant effort. Most people are obsessed with the destination, but they forget about the journey. However, it is in the process where the real transformation occurs. The outcome only reveals what has already been cultivated in the invisible. Humans want everything quickly. They want certainties. They want guarantees. But life does not reward impatience. It rewards perseverance. What comes easy goes away just as quickly. What is built with discipline remains. Every step, every fall, every attempt counts, even if no one sees it. Consistency and faith are not demonstrated with words. They are demonstrated with the ability to continue even when the road seems eternal. The Stoics taught that virtue is not in reaching the goal, but in the way you travel the path. The process shapes the mind, trains patience, and eliminates arrogance. When you only focus on the outcome, you lose connection with the present and become a slave to expectation. But when you embrace the process, you learn to enjoy growth, even when it hurts. Because every difficulty you face is silently strengthening you. Success is not a point of arrival. It is a way of moving forward. Serenity is born when you understand that you do not have to force anything. Just give your best each day. The process does not need to be perfect. It needs to be consistent. If you take a firm step every day, you will inevitably get to where you need to be. It doesn't matter how long it takes. What matters is that you keep going. Embracing the process also means trusting in timing. Not everything blooms when you want it to, but when you are ready to sustain it. Life does not deny you what you deserve. It prepares you to receive it. And that preparation often disguises itself as waiting, frustration, or silence. But if you learn to look beyond impatience, you will discover that everything that happens has a purpose. When you stop rushing, when you stop comparing, when you let go of the obsession with the outcome, you regain your peace. The process becomes lighter because you are no longer fighting against it, you are accompanying it. Each day is an opportunity to move forward, to learn, to improve a little more. And even if the result is delayed, the transformation is already happening within you. Embracing the process is understanding that you are not lost, you are being shaped. Every step, even the slowest, brings you closer to your strongest version. And when you finally reach the outcome, you will realize that what was truly valuable was not reaching the goal, but who you became while walking towards it. Thank you for staying until the end of the video. If you watched the whole thing, comment "I am Stoic" as our secret signal to know that you're a true student of Stoicism. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a like if you enjoyed it. See you in the next video, and remember, keep cultivating your Stoic mind.